Crypto kids, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to do a massive, comprehensive, detailed analysis of the breaking news regarding the tariff situation, what to expect this week. Tomorrow we have the CPI data. Most importantly, there's a chance we get another Trump meme coin. Then we have a lot of Bitcoin analysis to tap into, including the fact that we had a full moon last night. We want to go into our Bitcoin positions, which even though Bitcoin is crashing now to $102,000, we're still incredibly profitable. And also I want to talk about the altcoin positions that we've entered and how some of our favorite altcoins are doing. Then we go into a bunch more analysis and Bitcoin stuff. Then we have to go into altcoins again, then Bitcoin news, then some breaking news in crypto overall, and just a lot of stuff. So please stay tuned until the end of today's show. I felt super bad because today we ran into technical difficulties on the Moon Show. So I had this incredible 1-hour stream planned, and that's why I've decided to put it into video format so that I can bring you the latest and greatest of what happened in crypto over the past 72 hours and what we should expect in the next 24 to at least until the end of Friday. So with that said, guys, if you're new, make sure to destroy the like button, regardless of if you're new or not. Subscribe to become a crypto kid. We've completely destroyed 50,000. Now we're on our way to 51,000, which is unbelievable. And guys, if you want to be trading cryptocurrencies, make sure to go to the links down in the description below, because with weeks, only for a limited time only, if you use this link down in the description below, you will get free 100 USDT for the first 100 people that decide to sign up. And if you bind your phone number and email address to your account, you will get anywhere between 10 to 100 USDT for free, regardless of if you're one of the first 100 people. So make sure to use the link down in the description below to trade. And with that said, let's jump straight into the tariffs. And then we'll progress into technical analysis, what to expect in the short term, what to expect in the long term, so on, so forth. So going into tariffs, this morning, obviously, we made a breaking news video, but tariffs were cut from both China and the US. So the US had previously 145% tariffs on China, and China had 125% tariffs on the US. So they have been cut to 30 and 10%. And obviously, as soon as this happened, Bitcoin pumped to $105,000. All coins were getting, they went up. Like Dogecoin at one point was at 0.28. And I was getting super excited because we have a lot of Dogecoin positions. Now they've retraced a bit. And I'll talk about why I think this retracement is not something to worry about. But obviously this morning, once we got the news, everybody was super happy, tired of winning, and super, super bullish. But the interesting thing is, like, when you go into how this whole tariff situation evolved, like, we're back down to where we were in March, right? And it begs the question, like, what was the point of all of this nonsense, to create hype for a potential bigger pump in the future? I don't know. I can't comment. But hey, things are going up now, so I'm not complaining. And we also had an extended time to accumulate more Bitcoin and altcoins. So I guess for the smart investors, for the people watching these videos, it's been a blessing. But for most people, yeah, they got destroyed. But there is one thing that's interesting. Howard Lutnick, one of the top people in the Trump administration, mentioned 2 weeks ago, or in fact a week ago, oh no, it's been 2 weeks now, that after the trade wars are over, which they're coming very close to being over, Bitcoin will be put back on the agenda. This was paraphrased of something that Howard Lutnick said in an interview with the Bitcoin Policy Institute. So very credible source. It's there. You can go on YouTube and find it. We made a breaking news video when this was first published, but expect the Bitcoin agenda to be coming back very soon after the trade wars are over. And when you look at the geopolitical perspective, the US-China deal, obviously going well, we've covered it. India and Pakistan have thankfully come to a ceasefire. And on Thursday, President Putin and President Zelensky will be going to Turkey and talking down to come to an agreement of creating a ceasefire there as well, hoping to end a war that's been going on for like 5 years now, which is unbelievable. So hopefully that comes into fruition. And obviously, because we're not a geopolitical channel, we only look at the impacts into the crypto and stock markets. Those ceasefires, apart from saving so many lives, will also help pump the markets into further levels and potentially helping Bitcoin break all-time highs. And that's why it's incredible. But going into what will happen this week, so that was the tariff news. This week, we can expect more trade deals. Approximately 24 of them are expected to be announced, which is pretty great. Again, another catalyst to push Bitcoin further to the upside. And then we have the CPI data tomorrow. So currently, the government's official CPI data report is 2.4%. The Fed has a target of 2% inflation. And when you go to Trueflation, which is a blockchain-based inflation tracker, they are predicting that the year-on-year inflation increase is actually 1.57%. So I'm pretty optimistic about inflation data tomorrow. If we come super close to 2%, then there's a chance that we start getting rate cuts in June. But my base case scenario is still July's rate cuts, and that will fuel an increase in altcoins eventually as we come to lower and lower rates. And I think by Q4 of this year or 2021, 2026 Q1, altcoins will just continuously see like these returns that have happened over a week. We will see them over a daily perspective. This will obviously last only a month, but it's enough to make life-changing money. And actually in the past 24 hours, some altcoins are not doing too bad because we're seeing Bitcoin dominance dropping as exactly as predicted. I'll talk about it. I don't want to front run myself, but yeah, we will see more and more gains when quantitative easing kicks in. And that will happen when the CPI data comes down to 2% and the Fed starts cutting rates. And also, President Trump yesterday, he posted, "My next Truth Social tweet will be one of the most important and impactful I've ever issued. Enjoy." And obviously, it's not been about that. It's not been about Trump coin. I was genuinely scared that it was going to be about Trump coin, but thankfully it's not. And this was super funny. Like, what if it was just 16-dimensional chess to get more traction on Truth Social and give Trump coin holders early access information? Thankfully, it was nothing to do about that. But guys, I'm getting some very credible sources telling me that there's a very good chance that in the next 3 days, unfortunately, President Trump may be creating a meme coin for the Truth Social platform. I really hope this doesn't happen, but my sources are credible. And if it does happen, I'm going to stay away because the same thing that happened to Melania coin and Trump coin, i.e. tending to zero, will happen to this Truth Social coin. Can it be possible? Could they do it? Yes, because, well, meme coins have been officially declared as collectibles rather than securities by the SEC. So I don't see any reason for it to not happen. But if it does, I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm going to stay away unless there is a very clear opportunity for us to make money and then exit and put it back into Bitcoin. And now segueing into the Bitcoin analysis, another funny thing that's happening this week is that obviously we got the full moon, and people laugh at astrological TA, but I got to tell you, I mean, this indicator, the moon phases indicator specifically, is just so goddamn bullish. Every time you see a full moon, I mean, 80% of the time. So this was a dump, this was a pump, 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 pump. Dump here. Pump, pump, and hopefully now we get a pump. So it has like 80% accuracy. It's possible that we dump this time, but if you just strictly trade the moon phases, then you tend to do well. Obviously, this is just for fun, but it does have an 80% accuracy, and you can keep in mind of it when you're conducting your own technical analysis and include it as one source of technical indications when you come to trading conclusions. But talking about trading, over on weeks, even though Bitcoin has corrected from 105.8 to 102, all of our positions are still doing very, very nicely. We have a lot of altcoin positions, both on LBank and Weeks, specifically Ethereum and Dogecoin have been doing incredibly well. And guys, remember, if you don't want to miss out on these opportunities and trade once we share them here on this channel and the Moonshow channel, make sure to go to the links down in the description below. Weeks gives you free 100 USDT, but not for long. And Coinflare gives you up to $68,000 in rewards. So check out the links down in the description below if you want to be trading Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Dogecoin, you guys know my target. Short term 0.47 and macro, I think $1 Dogecoin is definitely possible. So far, this is when we open the long position live. So far, you're up 22% with 5x leverage. So you've doubled your money already. And at one point, you would have tripled your money almost, which is pretty cool. But I think not only can you 15x your money, or sorry, we have 5x leverage. So at this point, it would be about 8x your money. Not only can you do that, I think when Dogecoin hits $1, you will probably be able to. So that's gonna be 5x. Wow, that's gonna be like a 25x. So yeah, I think it's super possible. Obviously, if you hold Dogecoin, then congratulations. I think this is just the beginning of what's about to happen. And if you're in trades, then yeah, congrats also, because you're probably gonna make a lot of money. And if you want to enter those trades, then I'm personally trading on Weeks and LBank. You can do the same using the links down in the description below. So that's my outlook on Dogecoin. Ethereum it hit 2.7 almost today, when Bitcoin was pumping 11 a.m. because of the tariff news, Ethereum decided to continuously pump also. But if you're not in an Ethereum position, and if you've not entered exactly at the bottom, like guys, this was literally where we entered Ethereum. It's kind of remarkable. And we even made a video with Carl, not yesterday, but the previous Sunday, about why you should immediately buy Ethereum. And guys, we got the exact bottom for Ethereum, which is kind of remarkable. So if you want to enter into a trade, then I would consider putting limit orders at 2.2. Take profit for now 3.8, but the macro target is $8,000 and stop loss at 1809. That's if you haven't entered into a long position already. You can put a limit order on Weeks, LBank, Coinflare, Bybit, everywhere works. So that's the position I would consider taking. If you have Ethereum already, I would just keep my longs open. But I think a retest to 2.2 would be very healthy. That was initially our target for Ethereum anyways. So I think a retest there and then a continuation would be incredible. So you can take advantage to buy some more cheap Ethereum potentially if we come down to 2.2. And then obviously when we look into the weekly time frame, you have a MACD bullish crossover on the weekly. The last time this happened, we jumped from 2.5 all the way to $4,000. And one of the final altcoins that we will go into, there's 2 or 3 more. XRP was one that we bought publicly, or I posted publicly just a couple of days ago. We've reached our first target of 2.45 and now we're trading at 2.6. I think XRP can go back to the $3 level. I would personally take some profits at this range if you have XRP positions open that have significant profits. But if you don't, then I would keep it until we can see $3 again. And I'm expecting around $5 by the end of altcoin season. Sui has been doing incredibly well. Congrats if you hold Sui. I think it's just going to be one of the best layer 1 calls or layer 1 projects of this cycle and future cycles. I think Sui and Solana are probably the best 2 layer 1s in the market right now. So even though Sui has exploded from our initial call, I think it will continue doing incredibly well and potentially even going to $5 much sooner than we think. So that was the final altcoin. Let's go and circle back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin in the short term, 103. Just be careful, right? The only issue I have with Bitcoin at the moment, everything is looking super bullish. The only issue I have with Bitcoin is the fact that we have a bearish divergence forming on the 4-hourly and daily timeframes. So if that decides to conclude in the way that it should, then I would expect potentially a correction into not only 102, which we're bouncing from, and I think it's great that we're bouncing from 102. That was the target that we set initially for Bitcoin. In fact, took profits on Weeks on the Moon Show last week. So I think this is good, but we just need to be mindful that because there's a Bart Simpson, we've run into resistance of 104. If we break 102, then likely this bearish divergence will play us into 97 again. And if we do retest 97, like there's no issue whatsoever. Because when you look at, weekly signs like the MACD bullish crossover, or more importantly, the M2 money supply, which we can see here. I mean, the M2 money supply is taking us into 150 anyways in the macro. So if we dump into 97, just don't panic. Make sure that you hodl up more Bitcoin below 6 digits because, this time, it could actually be your last time that you buy Bitcoin below 6 digits, at least in this cycle specifically. So yeah, we'll get into M2 money supply, but I just want to note that Bitcoin has hit a brand new all-time high today in Turkish lira. You just need to understand that some people buy Bitcoin not because they think it's cool or just to make a quick buck. No, people in a lot of countries, specifically hyperinflationary countries that undergo so much monetary debasement, have to buy Bitcoin to hedge themselves against their, fall in currency that will tend to zero against Bitcoin and the US dollar. And unfortunately, these local people cannot go ahead and buy dollars from a currency exchange because the central bank doesn't have enough dollars to give everyone. And the only real way that you can hedge yourself against this is by buying Bitcoin or stablecoins. I prefer Bitcoin. And that's also why Turkey is one of the largest adopting countries of cryptocurrency globally. So, I mean, it's a terrible thing, but so many more countries will go through the same issue as time progresses and the banking system continues to scam people and create financial crises. More and more countries will enter hyperinflation and people will buy Bitcoin to save themselves. And the network effect of everybody buying Bitcoin will pump prices to millions and millions of dollars. Just as a note, look, we spoke about this in previous videos, but 50 SMA next time, this is a lesson for the next bull market. We bought, so congratulations if you were able to buy it. But if you were not able to listen to our previous videos, whenever Bitcoin retests the 50 simple moving average in a bull market parabola, please buy, okay? It's always a great time to be buying. So this is a lesson for next time. If you've bought, then no need to say anything on top of that. People have been asking me, what is the top prediction for Bitcoin in this cycle? I think it's $150,000 minimum. Because when you look at the greatest charts of finance history, I would say, and that is the M2 money supply correlated on with Bitcoin with a 90-day delay. Like, I just think $150,000 clearly is written in stone. It's happening even when you look at a better charts on Bloomberg from Joe Consorti. Like, you look at this analysis and it just really shows you that Bitcoin will hit 0.15 million. In the most conservative way. Because understand, this is the global M2 money supply. Now, it's not accounting the fact that, the Fed is going to cut rates and there's going to be more money supply printed, so on and so forth. The US has to refinance $7.5 trillion. This is not accounting any of these things. So M2 money supply will continue growing this year at least. But I think Bitcoin will be able to reach $0.15 million per Bitcoin and likely top out unless we go into a super cycle, probably in August, September, or October of this year. And look, 150 maybe a little bit further in this year, but in the minimum, in the midterm, June, July, I think 120 or 118 is super possible because all of the liquidity is now attracted in the 118 to 114 range. That is where all the liquidity is lined up. If you guys know Bitcoin, you can clearly see here, Bitcoin likes to grab liquidity. Exchanges, market makers, they love to grab liquidity and collect liquidations. That's how they make money, right? So it's going to happen. I think 118 is programmed in stone. So even written in stone. So even if we do have a correction to whatever, 97, or if we don't, because there's a chance we don't, I would just buy. I would buy today. I would buy tomorrow. And yeah, I think all-time highs are coming in incredibly soon, much, much sooner than you expect. And that's very, very good news. The only thing, like I said earlier on in the show, that's stopping us, or maybe I didn't, the only thing that's stopping us from going to those levels at this moment in time is the resistance that we're facing on the weekly time frame at $104,000. This is the weekly resistance from the prior all-time highs candle body closures. So as soon as we get above 104, that's it. Like, it's done. You're invalidating the potential double top and you're continuing on to make new parabolic all-time highs, which I think will happen. Because, you go into the Bitcoin parabolas and you look into technical analysis and look at how a parabola forms, an exponential graph forms, you should expect at least one more pump. But we've spoken about that a long time ago, so I won't discuss it on today's show, but it's another reason why Bitcoin will likely continue pumping. And the greatest fundamental indicators of all time is the sentiment, right? The sentiment, the people interested in Bitcoin or not. When we always saw these significant breakouts on Bitcoin and crypto overall, if we go to weeks again, you can see that all of the greatest breakouts that Bitcoin has experienced in its history was when the retail amount of retail attention in crypto has been the lowest. So I remember here when President Trump got elected, I got one of my lowest viewed videos. And this is how it works, by the way. It's not something that I'm making up. But as soon as retail doesn't care at all about crypto, that is exactly when you're about to go parabolic. And the fact that we're down to levels of interest that Bitcoin was back in the bear market is just insane. So I think it's still early to buy Bitcoin, still early to jump into long positions. And when it peaks, that usually marks the top because retail isn't as informed as us, unfortunately, and they become exit liquidity. So that is Bitcoin. Just to go over altcoins again, daily meme coins are leading the way. And I honestly didn't think when I called for the Dogecoin trade, I didn't think that meme coins, especially the Dino meme coins, would be leading the pump, but they appear to be doing so. So congrats if you hold them. You are doing fantastically fine. Apart from meme coins, the USA coins have been gaining a lot of traction over the past month. Pengu, Sui, IOTA, Manta, even Trump coin, World coin, the evil coin, they're all going up. And it appears to be that American coins are the new meta and will continue being the new meta throughout the entirety of this altcoin season. Very importantly, last week, it was a video that we posted last week. We actually predicted we've predicted the Bitcoin dominance deciding to see a top beautifully. So we went on to Bitcoin dominance. We saw that the momentum reversal indicator, which is derived from TD sequential, the time to mark indicator, that had a topping out on the weekly time frame and the daily time frames. And I said, expect specifically the next 1 to 4 days and also the 1 to 4 weeks to be incredibly bullish for altcoins. Consider selling your Bitcoin for altcoins because likely the next month will be great for altcoins. That's exactly what we did, and that's exactly what's happening. So congratulations if you're able to do that, because I mean, yes, we're seeing a bit of a slowing down in price action today specifically, but I think altcoins will continue to do incredibly well in the upcoming few weeks. So guys, that is the crypto market recap. Now we can do breaking news for Bitcoin, and then we'll do the entire crypto industry towards the end. In crypto or in Bitcoin today, Michael Saylor bought another 13,390 Bitcoin for $1.34 billion at an average entry of around $100,000 per Bitcoin, which is pretty cool, bringing his DCA now to $69,000 in their overall profitability to almost 50%, which is insane. Metaplanet has acquired another 1,241 Bitcoin, taking their total Bitcoin portfolio to more than El Salvador's Bitcoin portfolio. We also have a negative news. Unfortunately, Dell, founded by Michael Dell, who's one of the biggest Bitcoin maxis on crypto Twitter, actually, they have decided not to invest into Bitcoin in their treasury. Their loss, they will probably regret that in the next 4 years. So it is what it is. David Bailey, though, the founder of the Bitcoin conference, and one of the best orange pillars out there, has created his own company called Nakamoto, which is a Bitcoin treasury company that is incentivized to creating more Bitcoin treasury companies. They've raised $710 million to deploy and buy Bitcoin immediately, which they haven't done so yet. So expect $710 million worth of buying pressure to be coming in extremely soon. Conor McGregor, the guy that is a five-time world champion, he wants to become the Prime Minister of Ireland. And yeah, he's been very actively speaking about that, and I think he's caught into the traction of Bitcoin reserves and seen that that's a trending topic on Twitter. And he will be meeting with Max Kaiser and the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, very soon to discuss a Bitcoin strategy. So let's see what happens there. If Conor McGregor is elected as prime minister, then things will get interesting. We'll get another country with a Bitcoin reserve. American Bitcoin, co-founded by Eric Trump, they are doing an IPO. And it's a Bitcoin mining company that is partnered up with Hut 8, which is one of the biggest miners in the world. And just bringing it back to a previous point, which was the David Bailey news. So David Bailey's Bitcoin strategy company recently launched today. So they launched, well, they were launched in the market already. They basically teamed up with a different company and changed the whole setup of the company and what their purpose is. Anyways, they announced the news that they're going to become a Bitcoin treasury company, and their stock went up 671%. Now it's dumped to a 299% increase over the past 24 hours, which is unbelievable. And this is stemming from the fact that, you know, Bitcoin treasury companies is the hot topic. And I think you should take advantage of it. If you're a publicly traded company, know somebody that has a publicly traded company, please add Bitcoin to your treasuries, because your stock will pump. Like, it's just as simple as that. And I don't know for how much longer this trick will last. So take advantage of it while you have the time. One of the lead singers, or the lead singer of Guns N' Roses, was spotted in a Satoshi Nakamoto t-shirt yesterday. Unbelievable. So we have another orange pillar or orange pilled individual who's very, very famous in the world now. The lead singer of Guns N' Roses is a Bitcoin believer. And finally, Panama City is, or in fact, the penultimate news for Bitcoin is that Panama City mayor is saying that the country will have a national Bitcoin reserve within a year, which is pretty cool. And the final Bitcoin news is that Bhutan's sovereign wealth fund is saying that Bitcoin is parallel to digital gold, and they have over 1 billion in Bitcoin already. And even the president of Bhutan was in Dubai during Token 2049 with CZ and Justin Sun. So Bhutan is very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Ending off this incredible show, or this incredible video, with crypto breaking news, we have a couple of interesting ones. So one of them is, guys, please be careful. Do not click any links that anybody sends you on Twitter. Okay, it's a very important thing. Today, Carl was sent a message from Cointelegraph, the official Cointelegraph account, with a link that is cointelegraph.com, right? He's experienced, he's been in this space for a very long time, so he didn't click this link. because right after they've sent this message the next day, Cointelegraph responded and said, hey, we got hacked, so please be careful, because when you click this link, they take over your X account, which sucks. So guys, this happened to me before and I fell for it. Thankfully, nothing was hacked because I stopped the last second, like something happened and I didn't do it, but I was like, if that thing that happened didn't happen, I would have given control of my X account to these hackers. So please, guys, do not ever click any links. If you get an opportunity that's sent to you on Twitter, just ask them to send you an email with the official .com domain of that company, so that you know it's at least an official employee sending you the link and it's not a scammer. But apart from that, also, we got another hack situation with Ledger. Guys, I don't trust Ledger. Apparently, a bunch of wallets, 24-word seed phrases have been compromised. That's terrible. That should not happen whatsoever. So I don't trust Ledger. They're not open source. And the thing is, like, you just can't trust it's so hard to trust something, because technically everything can be changed. So just diversify your portfolio amongst different exchanges, amongst different wallets, and that's the only thing that you can do, because unfortunately risk is always present unless it's with a bank that can get bailed out by the government printing money. So that's the world that we live in. And then finally, guys, I've been seeing this a lot too. Like any sort of controversial tweet, any sort of breaking news, people just put @grok to see if it's correct or not. The thing is, AI is killing critical thinking. So please think critically and don't ask AI about everything. I know it's very convenient to do so, but AI is not always correct. So develop your critical thinking skills. But with that said, guys and girls, thank you so much for watching this extended video. I just, again, felt super bad for having technical difficulties over on the Moonshow channel. So I wanted to create this show in exchange for compromise. So I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next show very soon. Take care, guys. And as always, bye-bye.